Greetings, webheads, and welcome to episode 58 of Witty Banter, yet another Marvel Crisis Protocol podcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Alex.
I'm David.
This is JP.
We are here to help you get better at and have more fun with your Crisis Protocol. Well, I am very clearly living my best life because we're now going 2 episodes in a row talking about Sentinels. I mean, I should just retire at this point. I don't know how it's going to get much better than this. Well, there's that too. So we're gonna talk about the Sentinels tactics cards because since we last talked, those have been dropped, and then we're just gonna kind of dojo up a roster. I've been obviously playing them since they dropped, and I've had a chance to play into most of the crew. Alex and I haven't had a chance to play yet. But we've got some thoughts in terms of what the roster wants to do, what a roster would look like, and some splash ideas. So we thought we'd do that first. So just a quick little bit of business. If you'd like to support us, the best way to support us and help us grow as a podcast is leave us a rating and a review on Apple or Spotify or whatever your podcaster choice. That really helps train the algorithm and helps other people to find us. So we would really appreciate you doing that. We also do have an event that's coming up. Alex, do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
I sure can. We've got Bug Eater coming up. This is our 6th year of Bug Eater, and it's a 3-day event. Friday is 3-person team tournament. Very standard team tournament procedure, layout, process, whatever you want to call it. Format. There we go. That's the right word. Format. Cannot duplicate characters between all 3 rosters. You cannot duplicate tactics cards except restricted. Restricted will be allowed to duplicate. And you cannot duplicate crisis cards until all of them have been selected. So, for example, you cannot fix Spider Infected until all other extracts are in all 3 rosters. So between all 3 rosters, every crisis must be selected in before you can duplicate crises. Saturday is Contest of Champions, regular tournament with challenger events. It is an LVO qualifier. We did get confirmation that it is an LVO qualifier now. And anything released up to day of will be allowed. If I remember correctly, the new crises will not be released by then, and the character updates should not be released by then either. And then Sunday is our What If event, where I come up with crazy rules for each round that everybody can benefit from. It is kind of our way to wind down for the weekend and just have a fun day.
And where is this going to be located, Alex?
Divine Shepherd Church in Omaha, Nebraska.
And we will have a Longshank sign up that we will put in the show notes and we will put out on the socials. So if anybody wants to come join us, we will have all the information to do that. David, I think you had a little bit more you wanted to mention with regards to that.
So with the team tournament, normally me and JP and Alex are usually a team, but we figured that we would let the listeners, see if they can have one of us on their team. So like if you message us and want to play in the team tournament and you want one of us to be on your team, we'll be on your team. And I mean, we're pretty flexible with what we play, so we could definitely make that work. For any of the listeners, it'll be kind of first come, first serve. Whoever says, hey, they want Alex or they want JP or they want me, they'll get one of us. Just hit us up. I really want to do this team tournament thing because I really like team tournaments. I love the format, and they're usually a blast.
And it's so hard. Like we've just had a difficult time the last couple of years of getting a team format to become a thing on the Fridays.
Yeah. So if you've got if you want to just show up and you're not sure who's coming, we'll set you up. If you want to come and you want to play in the team tournament with us, we'll make it happen. We'll figure out a way. Just get in touch with us. Obviously, sooner the better. Show up day of tournament and say, hey, we're going to do the best we can to help sort you out, but no promises. That might be a little tricky. But if that's something that you're wanting to do, we'd love to be able to get a chance to play in a tournament with you. You would need to get in touch with us at wittybantercast@gmail.com and just let us know that you're coming, that you'd like to have one of us or be on a team with us, and we'll figure it out and we'll make it work. We'd love to have you. This is our big tournament of the year, and we would very much like to make this a real significant part of the MCP calendar, and you're a big part of that, Webhead. So come and join us. Alex, why don't you give the dates again, just to make sure that everybody's got them in their calendar?
It is June 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Okay, June 5th, 6th, and 7th. So make your plans, Webheads. You can drive, you can walk, you can fly, you can take a train. I don't really care how you get there. Just get there, okay? Easy enough.
Can they eat green eggs and ham?
I will eat green eggs and ham.
But can they?
They can eat whatever they want. I mean,
Okay.
We're again, we don't kink shame here. It's one of the rules of the podcast.
And honestly,
because they don't know till they try.
It's true.
Somebody from Scotland is coming to Bug Eater. Literally no excuse. Come on.
100%. I am fully expecting all of our American listeners to be hearing that and taking that as a challenge to say, okay, we can't let that happen. I gotta show up. I gotta hang with these guys. I gotta play in the team tournament. So we are looking forward to it. Come see us at Bug Eater. We would love to have you. Longshank's link will be in the show notes. We're looking forward to seeing you there. All right. It is time to go around the neighborhood. David, what do you got for us?
So I figured since we're talking about tactics cards, I would ask, what is you guys' favorite tactics card? So my favorite tactics card is not very much surprise to anyone. Eye in the Sky. That card is fantastic. I love it so much. It's so good. It can be just dumb in some situations. It's definitely Eye in the Sky. I don't know. What do you guys got?
I thought yours was going to be Convocation Leadership.
That is a good one too. This is a very
Or
good one.
Namor's Leadership.
Also a good one. But it's definitely Eye in the Sky. That card is just good.
JP, how about you? What's your favorite tactics card?
I'm gonna go. I mean, I gotta go with Avengers Assemble, just because.
I knew it. I knew that was gonna be your answer.
It's an Avengers card. I like Avengers, and that shit just always works. I like Siege of Darkness, as a kind of Midnight Suns player, but it's still attacks. Attacks are great in the game, but sometimes you'll have a siege activation. You're like, what the fuck did I just do? My dice just shit the bed, but you're always gonna be able to move short. So I like Avengers Assemble as a card, and I find it rewarding when I find the window in a game to use it, the correct window.
It is kind of a big brain card. It's one of those cards where when you play it well, you really do feel like you've accomplished something.
It's one of those cards where it's easy to hold it too long, waiting for some huge miraculous turn of events that are brought about by the card, which sometimes happens, but a lot of times you're just stuck with the card and you're like, oh, I should use this earlier. And there's other times where it doesn't seem like it's that impactful of a play, but it's actually really impactful, maybe just moving one guy with it. So it's just a fun card. I like it.
All right. Alex, how about you? What's your favorite tactics card?
So, I love these questions, David. Don't get me wrong. It's just sometimes it's hard to think about things on the fly. You know what I mean? But truly, like the little bit of time I had to think about it, it's a 3-way tie, and they're all similar cards. They're all just character specific cards. Lethal Protector, Heroes for Hire, and Comrades Keeper.
Okay.
Okay.
I like those like sacrifice cards because like sacrifice I think is my favorite restricted card, and I like those cards that pass the hit to somebody else because then you get to make the decision on your opponent's turn. And most of those, like 2 of the 3 of those cards, have really good benefits after the attacks are resolved. The only one that doesn't have a benefit after is Lethal Protector, but Venom himself has like he's got his clap back, so it's
Yeah, I was like, you're probably gonna get hit back anyway, so like
probably yeah. So like it's nice because you get to control who's actually the target, and most of the time you get to do the cool thing afterwards.
well, and they all have like a place effect on them, so you can like put yourself into like cover or like get outside of a range for something. Like say they have rerolls if they're within 2 or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I think they've got some really cool rules to them, and even with Venom, he's got the original one, and it's got the least amount of effect on the card itself, but it's still a very good card. And when you get to pull it off, and one of those situations, the character just goes off and is a total badass. It feels so cool when you pull it off, and you don't die, and they just kick ass.
Yeah, I could see that.
It feels really good when you heroes with like cage and you throw somebody who has like 1 health left.
Yes.
That feels really good. Especially if they completely forgot that you had the card and they're just like, fuck.
Oh, hell's bells.
Oh yeah, like a couple weeks ago when I was playing Travis, he was like plotting and planning things out, and I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna get you. I'm not gonna play a gotcha. Venom is prepared to Lethal Protector, so plan for that. And he's apparently Travis had never played Venom before,
Oh.
not once. I'm like, oh yeah, here's Lethal Protector. Have fun with it. I think I love those cards, and like on top of it, they have some of the greater and like cooler names, like
Oh yeah.
Lethal Protector. It's Lethal Protector. That's Venom. Like Heroes for
Yep.
Hire, such an iconic thing with Cage and Fist, and Comrade's Keeper. I mean that is Red Guardian. So
Yep.
so they're such great iconic names for tactics cards.
Alex, did you play Mortal Kombat?
I did.
Were your favorites the friendships? Did you always friendship people instead of fatality?
No.
No, okay.
No, I definitely did the fatalities. Like Scorpion was my favorite character in those games.
Get over here!
Yeah.
That was not the question I was. That was not the follow-up question I was expecting. So I suppose I need to stay on brand and at least think that online and operational should be in the mix, because that card is a ton of fun. I was giving a lot of thought to Big Dumb Hero because that game's just when you're playing Guardians and you can you have to kind of figure out again, it's kind of like you have to not be too precious with it without and still getting the benefit from it. But it is so much fun to slap a Big Dumb Hero on a couple of the big hitters for Guardians. But I think I'm going to say this in part because I'm just kind of a troglodyte and just very simple about the game, and partly because I know it's going to irritate Alex. But I think my favorite cards.
I fucking knew you were going to pick that one.
I think my favorite card's patch up.
Fuck that card.
I mean, it is simple, it is straightforward, but it is it's just so it can be so instrumental in how you manage your game, and you have to think around. It's like, okay, when do I use it? Is if I got spiked on round 2, is patching up for 3, does that make sense, or do I keep it? I think that's actually probably my favorite card. Love you, Alex.
A 5 health patch up's so fucking satisfying.
It is. It
is really good.
It's fucking stupid.
Especially when they get a character who's like alive on 1, and you're like,
yes.
Here we go.
Especially when they
patch
have
up for 5.
When they're like super tough, like on Dynamo or Tony or something. Like, yep, you don't have
And
damage
That's
on
why
anymore.
it's fucking stupid.
And
I hate that feels bad. Fucking hate it.
Yeah, that was about 80% to troll you, Alex. I'm sorry about that. Not that sorry, but a little sorry.
It's fine. I know I am the only person that hates that card with a burning passion.
You are, but I respect that. I respect you being out on the island for that. So, all right. Thanks, David. That was good. I appreciate that. Webheads, what's your favorite tactics card? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to talk about that. Let us know in the Discord. If you're a member of the Patreon, then you can join us on the Discord, and we can talk about what your favorite tactics card is. Okay, so now let's get into the meat of the subject. We're going to go over the Sentinels tactics cards, which we didn't really talk about last time, and then we'll do some dojoing on what a Sentinels list will look like. So let's start with greater than the sum. It is unaffiliated, active. Bastion and Nimrod the Hunter may spend 2 power each to play this card. Bastion gets healing factor 2 and immunity to bleed and poison superpowers for the remainder of the game. David, is this a good card?
I mean, I think it's... Well, I mean, we'll get into it when we actually start talking about Sentinels, but Bastion... I mean, Bastion is a hoss. So, like, giving him healing factor is just really good. I kind of dislike that Nimrod and Bastion have to spend 2 power, but they both generate 2, so it's not terrible. I mean, the immunity bleed is good. It's a thing. I mean, any immunity is pretty decent. This tactics card's fine. I think if you're going to play Bastion a bunch, you probably bring it. It does open up the possibility of bringing instant recovery for him, but I don't know if... I mean, maybe if you're bringing Nimrod as well, since they both have healing factor, maybe you can make a case for instant recovery, but I think it's a fine card. Like, it's not amazing, but it's a good card.
DP, what are your thoughts on greater than the sum?
I think it's a solid card. It's not like an auto include or anything, but the 2 healing obviously is good on a DR character, kind of like what we were talking about with Patch Up a few minutes ago. Being able to heal 2 every turn is even better. And then making him immune to a couple conditions is also relevant in some situations. So, like bleed is kind of one of those like insidious status effects that just it ends up in certain games. It just ends up being a lot of damage. So, being able to like not only be immune to it, but also to be able to clear it if he has it is not irrelevant. It's like if Bastion has damage and bleed, it's almost like what's the shield heal card?
Oh,
Battlefield Medicine.
Battlefield Medicine.
Yeah, it's like damn near Battlefield Medicine if he's bleeding. And then he gets to heal every turn after that, which is it's not bad. I'm kind of with David in that like both of them having to spend power is kind of lame, and spending 2 on each is also kind of lame, but I guess they do have the extra power gen, so I guess it's okay. It's a little bit more expensive than I'd like it, but the other issue is that they both have to be like undazed and unKO'd. So it adds like not a huge layer of complexity, but a little bit more than you would normally have with just a straight up text card. So, but I think in like a grindy game, it's gonna like be kind of slow. It might pay dividends. But Bastion's he's just a tough nut anyway. So I don't know if it's necessarily that important against a scenario team or like a faster scoring game. But what were you gonna say, David?
I was gonna say that it also has to be, you have to have Bastion and Nimrod on the table, which is something that you may or may not. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, if you're not
depends
even
on
playing the
if
game
you-
with Nimrod, then it's not even a consideration, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and I think I want to get into that when we get into actually the dojoing of the roster in terms of like Nimrod versus Sentinel Prime versus Cassandra Nova as your 5 threat in terms of how you want to think through that. So obviously that will then affect what you do with this card.
How you think through that is you put Cassandra Nova on the shelf.
I wanted to make sure we were being completists. That's been my conclusion as well. But I just didn't want anybody to think we forgot about poor Cassie. Alex, what do you think about this card?
I like it. I think it's a solid card. It definitely makes your 10 as a Sentinels player. Because let's be perfectly honest, if you're a Sentinels player and Nimrod and Bastion are not in your list, you're wrong. I hate to be so blunt about it like that, but like both those characters are good, and obviously they're Sentinels affiliated. So if you're playing a Sentinels list and you don't have those two, like, what are we even doing? So yeah, it definitely makes your 10. I would agree with both David and JP. It's more for those grindy missions, and like the downsides, they're not wrong. Uh, However, I do like the instant recovery trick. I mean, it's neat. It's not something I would suggest in every game, but it's a neat trick with Bastion because having the DR really solidifies his chances of survivability, and then instant recovery on top of it be super nice. So it's a neat trick. But yeah, the card definitely makes the 10. If it depending on the crises you put it in your 5.
Yeah, I mean, it is a strange world that we're walking into where part of thinking about taking instant recovery is the opportunity costs of not taking other Sentinels or Sentinel character cards, which we're going to be talking about here. So that is it's a very different world to be in. So okay. Next card is Know Thy Enemy. When Bastion it's a Sentinels card, and it's reactive. When Bastion or a Prime Sentinel, so the mini primes, when Bastion or Prime Sentinel is attacked, after the attack is resolved, the defending character may spend 3 power to play this card. The character that played this card and each allied Bastion and Prime Sentinel within 3 of that character may make an attack with a power cost of 0, targeting the attacking character. JP, it's a good card?
It's okay. Like free attacks are always good. I think it's fine. Like you're getting, it only works on Bastion and Sentinel Prime Sentinels, so
Right.
like you're getting 5 dice attacks out of it, a maximum of 3 of them, which is, I mean, 5 dice attacks is not like, it's very good, but that would require you to have all 3 of them within the range of the target. Well, first of all, you'd have to be playing all 3 of them.
Yep.
Second of all, having all 3 of them within range 3 of the target. So, like, it's okay. I guess the Sentinel Prime or the Prime Sentinels can do the reroll thing with the root token. So
Yep. I was just gonna say that.
It's not all bad. It's fine. It's fine. It's not like it's not a Wakanda Forever or a
Siege of Darkness.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the Spider Foes one, but
Surprise
Webhead. Surprise Webhead, yeah. It's not one of those cards, I don't think, but it's free attacks. The attacks aren't great, but like I feel like, I mean, it's definitely a consideration if you're in a Prime and or Bastion, and maybe you probably want to be running at least one Prime Sentinel to play it. I don't think it's worth spending 3 just for Bastion to make a clapback for 3 power and a Texas card. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's not like it's. I don't think this is going to be like a world beater card, but it's fine, I guess. Kind of mid on it.
Alex, what do you think about Know That Enemy?
It's fine. I think it's a little expensive. Like JP said, like if you only have Bastion, it's not worth it. But it's almost like I feel. I really feel like if you play with all 3, that's where you get the biggest bang for your buck. Because like having Bastion in one of the Sentinel Primes, I don't know if that's quite enough. Because then on top of it, with the range restrictions, you may not even get both of them in range to attack. So it's fine. Again, I think it's like right on that cusp of making the 10, but it's definitely not a 5 every game.
Yeah, I think one of the considerations would be the map too, just for the range. The range bands are just not very long, so.
Which is a little weird because if you're playing a tighter, I mean, kind of the advantage that the mini primes give you is the ability to play on a wider map. If you're playing on a narrow map, I'm not sure why you're bringing 2 mini primes instead of like Nimrod or Big Prime or some of the other heavier hitters. It's just it sits in kind of a weird space. David, is this a good card?
I kind of think this card's a trap because there's a lot of hoops, and there's also something that I just realized with this is that the defending character has to spend the power. So if for example they don't have enough power, or if they get dazed or KO'd, then this card never comes up.
Yep.
So like it's like the time where you might be able to get the most use out of this, you might just like lose a Prime Sentinel and then it doesn't matter.
Right.
And the within 3 is also like smart players are just gonna attack you outside of range 3.
Yeah.
And make this card not work. I don't know. I think this card's a trap. It doesn't. I don't think it's that good.
Well, it sure gives your opponent a whole lot of agency in terms of what you're going to be doing.
Well, and if that attack has like a push or a throw on it, and they throw you outside of 3, then you can't even use the card.
Mm.
Like,
I hate that they neutered Bastion's range with this.
Yeah, that too.
Like the primes already have range 3. The only reason to say within range 3 is to just kick Bastion in the nuts a little bit. I don't know why they did that.
Well, I mean, you could have, I suppose theoretically, you could have like the attack could come into the Prime Sentinel from range 3. Bastion could be on the other side, but he could still be within range 4 to make his attack.
No, it says that each allied Bastion and Prime Sentinel within 3. So they still got to be.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right.
Bastion still's got to be within 3.
Yep. Nope. You're right. I misread that. All right. So our next card is a Perfect Future. It is an unaffiliated reactive card. When Nimrod the Hunter dazes or KOs an enemy character during his activation, he may spend 2 power to play this card. Nimrod the Hunter moves long. Alex, is this a good card?
Hot take. I know it's going to be the hot take. I think this card's good.
Okay.
2 power to just move long. That's fucking awesome. And like he's got a real good chance of dazing and KOing people. Like he can do it. I think it's a good card.
Okay.
I think it makes the 10. But again, like just like all the other cards, it's circumstantial whether it makes the 5. This card is like badass on pay to flips, because typically those pay to flips are very close to each other. And if you're able to daze somebody on a point that you already have that your opponent was trying to go after, you can just move right onto a point that your opponent controls. Like this, I think this card's good.
Okay. David, what do you think?
I think this card's really good. The problem is that we're gonna get to it, but Nimrod has a lot of tactics cards.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it weighs into those. But so a long move on a large base, I'm pretty sure lets you go. You can basically rotate on a D. I'm pretty sure. Like if
Sounds
you're,
right.
I know you can inside to inside. You might be able to be like slightly off and still be able to do it. Which is it's good. Like being able to rotate on a D is like, especially for Nimrod, is not nothing.
How do you know that, David? That you can rotate with one long move?
Because I know that a medium base long mover is very close. Like Namor, so Namor can do it if he can hit somebody and then pursuit. So I'm pretty sure a large base can do it. And I know you can do it for sure on like Deadline. I know you can do it on.
Well,
you
Deadline
might be able to do it. You might be able to do it on on Guardians, because I think that one's squished in enough where you might be able to rotate.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like D is. I don't know. D is really spread. If
it is really spread.
If I had
know
TTS,
you can't.
I would look, but
I know you can't go laterally. But I'm pretty sure you can go from 1D to. I'm almost positive. Does
were you saying D the whole time?
Yeah.
I was thinking B. I was thinking map B going across.
Oh no, yeah, he can't.
Okay.
He can't do it. Across
inside
the
to inside. Yeah, you can definitely get there with on a D. My bad. Keep going.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can do it on a. I don't think you can do it on a B though.
No, I think B is too far.
B is too far, and you might be able to do it on Guardians. Save Shi'ar. You might be able to.
No, I think you can definitely do it on Guardians. I think the B is just the challenge. Bs are just so spread, it's insane.
Yeah, on the whatever the x-axis, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a good card. I like it. And I also like the fact that Nimrod has flight, so like he ignores all the terrain between it, which is also a good thing. It's great for him to like dive into somebody and then daze somebody and then get the fuck out. Like that's also a very legit strategy. You got to be careful on your timing though, because like if it's a pay to flip, you got to make sure you flip the point before you daze or KO somebody, because you don't get a window to flip before you move, and you can't pick up somebody's extract if you daze them and then run away.
Right.
So that's also something to consider.
JP, what do you think of this card? Is this a good card?
I'm probably the least enthused about this card. I mean, the effect is awesome. Long moving a large base is, I mean, like that's there's not even an argument. It's just that's a really good effect. But I mean, you're kind of limited on your windows there, and your windows are going to be highly variable because you have to do damage. And everyone who plays this game knows that doing damage with a character when you need them to is not always a thing that happens. Like, yeah, Nimrod, he's a 5 threat. He's probably doing like a decent amount of damage, but like he's throwing 6 dice still. Like 6 dice is 6 dice. Like 6 dice can shit out. If you're spendering, he goes up to 8, but now you're spending power. So like, you're not gaining power from it. You're spending 4 power to. I think his spender's 4 power. So you're gonna have 6 power now. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I just. So you have to daze somebody first, which is it can prove to be difficult. And then when you do daze them, you're looking like, does the board state require Nimrod to move?
Right.
Like if they were holding an extract, you don't want to do the thing. So it becomes a matter of like, how many characters is Nimrod dazing in a game? Which, I mean, obviously that's highly variable too, but it wouldn't surprise me if in like, I'm just going to pull some numbers out of my ass. In half the games that you play with Nimrod, he dazes one character. Only one character. That wouldn't surprise me, that statistic. So is that one window? Like, is that the window where the card is good? If not, like, you don't have a window again for the rest of the game. And now you just have a dead card. The other reason I don't like it is because he has a superpower that lets him teleport range 2. So, like, obviously, they're like you can teleport range 2 and long move, which is good, but like just the fact that he has a movement, an ability to move without using an action already printed on his card makes this card not as valuable as somebody who would be like considered a turret.
Plus, he more than likely, at least more often than not, will be playing alongside Bastion, who can also move him.
Yes. The other thing is like most movement cards allow like some shenanigans. This one's like just strictly like I'm gonna reposition. Like it's not an engagement tool.
Actually, you can. So here's the thing: that card, you don't have to daze or KO with an attack.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you have the throw. You have the throw.
You could throw terrain. You could also throw somebody else with the spender into somebody and cause a daze. You could also daze a grunt. Like, it doesn't specify what you daze.
I was going to mention that it didn't say non-grunt.
Okay, I mean, I guess if you guys want to cherry pick games with grunts, go for it. Like, yeah, sure. There are circumstances where you might have like 2 attacks left after you've dazed somebody, and you can reposition and kill them. My point is that like, is that scenario going to come up in the game? Like, it's not just like a free move you get to do. It's like a move you get to do after you kill somebody, and then like you have to have a reason to move. And like, how many people are you killing with Bastion or with Nimrod?
Mm-hmm.
I think those are valid concerns about the card. And I guess, how many times have you put it on the table, Patrick?
I did not.
You haven't put this card on the table at all. Okay.
Well, I had it in my hand. I never played it.
Oh, so you had it in your 5, or you never?
I had it in the 5. It just never came up to circumstance where it became useful. But primarily it was because it also kind of works. There's an element in which Bastion kind of just wants to set his feet and punch. And, you really kind of have to have a reason. You got to have a plan for it. You got to have, it's like, okay, here's why I want to reposition Nimrod, and here's where he's going to go. And then I have to pull off Nimrod being able to daze somebody, which, I mean, he hits hard and all, but he's not the killiest Sentinel, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think you just kind of concisely said what I was rambling about. Yeah.
Yeah,
we're in totally agreement, I guess. Then.
Yeah, I am lukewarm on this card, I guess is where I'm at with it.
Yeah, same.
Okay. So, our next card is Technological Jumpstart. It is a Sentinels card that is active. Nimrod the Hunter may spend 4 power to play this card. Each other allied Sentinels character gets 2 power. Alex, is this a good card?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. Explain.
So to get like true value out of it, you must have 3 other Sentinels characters, because like I feel Nimrod uses his power better, especially 4 power, than two characters do, two Sentinels characters do with 2 power. And to get the real benefit, you have to have at least 3 other Sentinels characters. So that's at least 10 more threats. So it's at least a 15 threat worth of characters, just with the tactics card and 3 other Sentinels investment. Granted, I mean because they're getting all these new characters, that's not going to be that hard. But it's a weird situation where like you have to have more Sentinels characters,
Mhm.
and I will say I do like the fact that there's no range limit on it. That
That
is
is,
super nice.
yeah, that makes a big difference.
It does. I don't know. I feel like Nimrod could use that 4 power better than some of the other Sentinels characters can with 2. I think it's fine. It's maybe a good card. I would have to see it in practice before I can really say one way or the other, though.
David, what do you think? Is this a good card?
I would point out that this card works with Under Your Skin.
It does.
So you could theoretically get some crazy splash character to be able to gain 2 power from this. But I don't know. It's hard. There's things I like about it. I like the fact that it doesn't have to be Nimrod's activation.
Right.
So like you could use it to like if Omega Sentinel needed enough power to charge or something, like you could feed her, right?
Yep.
I like the ways you could use this card. I just don't know if the windows are going to line up for where Nimrod has 4 power and your other Sentinels need power, and like it's kind of like you got to have a better plan than just I'm going to take this card and I'm going to use it at some point, because that some point probably isn't going to happen unless you're looking for it. And I just don't know, like 4 power is a lot of power for a tactic. It's a lot of power. And I just don't know if Nimrod is really wanting to spend his power to do this. Obviously, it gets better the more Sentinels you have.
Yep.
But I don't know. I mean, I do think there probably is use case scenarios for this card, like I was saying, like Omega Sentinel getting a charge, or maybe you need rerolls for the prime, or maybe I don't know. There's other circumstances where maybe a character needs 2 power that they don't have. And as with anything power related, right?
Mhm.
I feel like this card gets worse the longer the game goes on, because the longer the game goes on, everybody's getting powered up. So the value is just going to be less. If there was a way to like do this card early, like in round 1, then I would be a little bit more open to it. But I don't know. 4 power is a lot of power. And that's probably the reason why it is 4 power, is so that you can't do it on round 1.
I mean, you could at least have a shot at it, and you could have, Bastion can port Nimrod up, and
Nimrod could punch somebody and
Yeah,
give power,
if-
but then you're like, you have already activated Bastion, right?
Yep.
And like you're in the process of activating Nimrod, so then it's like, is this 2 power gonna be valuable for the other characters? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm trying to think through what the early use case for it would be. JP, what do you think?
I think this card's kind of masturbatory. I think Alex and David pretty much nailed it. I will add that like David said that you can do it outside of activation, which is true, and that's always a good thing. My only concern with that is like, okay, Nimrod's spending 4 power out of activation, and if you're doing that before Nimrod is activated, you're taking away, unless he has 7 power, you're taking away his engagement tool of porting.
Yep.
So Like if you're doing that and then Bastion has to move to get into into target range to attack somebody, you basically staggered your Bastion to do this. That's not great. Yeah, I just yeah. The other guys said everything.
All right. Next, we have Extinction Event. This is an unaffiliated, active, takes an action. During Omega Sentinel's activation, she may spend 2 power to play this card. Omega Sentinel makes the Extinction Beam attack shown above. What is the Extinction Beam attack? It is an energy attack. Range 5, 8 dice, 0 power. On a crit wild hit, you get Strafe. After the attack is resolved, this character may make an additional Extinction Beam attack without paying the power cost. The additional attack must target a character within 2 of the original defender that has not been targeted by Extinction Beam this round. David, is this a good card?
I mean, I do like that this card costs 2 power. And I mean, I know we were talking about it earlier in our group chat that like attack cards, they better be good, because if they're not good, you're not taking them. It's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this card, the attack is better than Dormammu's Incantation because it's easier to trigger, it's range 5, and it's energy, which like it's good. It's just, man, you better hit that trigger, otherwise this card isn't worth. What's the odds of hitting the trigger? It's like 40%, I think.
I was just gonna look that up.
Now, keep in mind, you can use this with Omega Sentinel's reroll with the 2 rerolls, which work on every attack. Which I imagine makes it probably better.
Without the rerolls, it's 42.5%. With rerolling 2, it is 53.9%.
What about 3? What about 3 primary rolls?
With 3 primary rolls, it is
on top of the 2.
63.55%.
All right, it's a 2/3 chance to hit it, or a coin flip basically to hit it without a prime.
Yeah, which the other thing too is like your opponent has to have a bunch of models clustered within 2 for this to get like to be able to chain.
Yep.
But I think if you can manage to hit 2 characters with this, it probably gets its value. You just got to hit that trigger. Like if you don't hit that trigger, it's gonna feel real bad. I like this card. I think it could be good, and it definitely is one of those things that could force your opponent to like have to think about, and potentially cause them to spread themselves out when they don't want to, especially in the case of like a Namor bunker or a Doctor Strange likes to hang out with people by him too. I mean, his is a little bit bigger, but the Namor Zemo bubble is probably going to be the thing for this. I just don't. I would have to legitimately see it, because like, I mean, in a dream scenario, this thing could like chain to 3 people and like potentially daze 2 of them. So like,
no,
it could be good.
You only get to bounce it once.
No, you get to keep going. It's like Incantation.
Oh, you're right. It is. It just has to be targeted. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, so you could live in like a dream scenario where you're like hitting 3 characters with this. It's just, it could be good. It could be good. And I do like Omega Sentinel, so I mean maybe. And for 2 power, it's not the end of the world. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean worst case scenario, you're getting an 8 dice attack 5, from 5 away that only costs you 2 power. That's That, I mean, is it worth a tactics card? Probably not, but it's not, it's not terrible. Especially
Yeah,
since
it's not.
especially since she's probably setting herself up to reroll 2 off of that, plus whatever else she's got around her.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the obvious play with that.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I think you could probably take this in your 10 and maybe find like a scenario where you're going to be a little bit closer together enough to make this card worth. I don't know. I think it's fine. You could use it. I like Omega Sentinel, so I don't see a reason not to take it, I guess.
Yeah, and we'll get into it, I think, when we do the dojo, but because I don't think Omega is a character you bring on every Sentinels roster, but I do think that when you're bringing her, unless you've got other cards that are really pushing you, I think you probably bring this with her. Okay. All right, then. Last but not least, we have building the mother mold.
Real quick, I did want to say something about the last.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Alex. I apologize. Please.
No, you're good. I just wanted to say I wish you could use this card with Omega's charge. I think this card would be phenomenal if you could.
That would be good.
Yeah, it does get weird. It does get weird.
Because like being able to get a charge off and getting that range 5 attack would be fantastic.
Yeah, that puts kind of the whole board in play, or pretty close to it. Okay, thank you, Alex. That was a good point. I appreciate it. All right, so the last of the cards is building the mother mold. It is a Sentinels reactive card. During the cleanup phase, after round 6, after scoring VPs from crisis cards, any number of allied Sentinels players may spend any amount of power to play this card. If 11 or more power was spent to play this card, gain 6 victory points. JP, is this a good card?
Oh, man. I would say I think it's going to take a little bit of trial to figure out if it's actually good in any scenario. I feel like it might be okay in very specific scenarios. But I would say like 95% of the, well, probably higher. 90, I don't know, 95 plus percent of the scenario combinations, this card is going to be absolutely worthless.
And why is that?
The game just scores too fast. You get 6 rounds of scoring before this card's even considered, so most games are ending before round 6 still.
So let's walk through the actual language of the card. So it happens in the cleanup phase, and it happens after VPs are scored from crisis cards. So basically that's generally how you count victory points normally. Like you get, here's the victory points you get from your secures, here's the victory points you get from holding your extracts. All that stuff gets added up first before this card is played. Is that right?
Yes.
So if the game, and once someone gets to 16 through that, the game ends immediately at that point, right?
Yes. So like
if gets to 16 and the other, one player has 16 and the other player does not.
Yeah, the only time it would work if someone hits 16 is if both players hit 16, and then it puts you over. If both characters tie in round 6, then this card wins you the game. If either player, if the players don't tie and either of them have 16 or more VPs at the end of round 6 or before the end of round 6, round 5, round 4, round 3, whatever, it does nothing.
Right. Alex, what do you think of this card?
This card's poop. That's just how I feel about this card. It is bad. It's a meme. And
is that just because it's so hard to come up with a use case for it?
Yes. strictly because of the timing window and how hard it would be to play.
Okay.
6 victory points is fucking awesome. There's nothing else in the game that gives you just 6 victory points.
Right.
Like even if you meme it with fucking Punisher KOing a Sandman with 2 grunts on the table, still doesn't get you 6 victory points. So I mean, it's badass. Like the victory points is super cool, and like 11 of power, it's really not that hard to do, especially at round 6. But the window to score it and win you a game is so small.
David, what do you think?
Somebody is going to be a fucking legend and play this card and win a damn game at some event, and it's going to be like the talk of the event. Man, this card is just not. The fact that, like, I mean, first of all, the fact that, like, Schick was saying that it would happen in round 5, and then it turns out to be round 6,
Right.
is kind of like
Well, it's
if
not
this
even
was
round. It's not even
5
round 6. It's after round 6.
Right.
Yeah, it's after round 6. So, like, I don't know. I mean, this card definitely is one of those, like, if it definitely is a meme, and it's definitely like a fucking Hail Mary. It's just like, and what I don't even know the likeliness of getting to round 6 and having enough power on enough non-dazed characters to play this card. Like, well, and like, obviously, if you have one character, it's just dead. You can't use it.
Right.
I don't know. It just doesn't. I
right.
think it's just not worth it. It's bad.
Let me make a case for it.
Go for it.
So, I typically play more attrition-focused lists. So I run into the scenario where if I run into an attrition-focused list, there is a good likelihood that we're going to play a very slow scenario. And from my experience, the slowest scenario to play is on intrusions.
Yep.
And either virus or alien ship.
Yep.
And in a lot of those games will go to round 6, and it like the game. They're very strange games because they're like super attrition focused, but at round 6 they're determined by score. So I feel like Sentinels kind of have that plan where, like, I think they like to play intrusions, and like the slower stuff just to grind opponents. So I think it matches with their identity to try to like do the grindy stuff. So like the card kind of matches with their identity to like take the game out into deep water. So I definitely see a use case for the card in it. So I guess I'll dive into like intrusions a little farther. I think intrusions and meteors are the only scenarios that score 3 outside of lockdown, but lockdown scores 4 at the first round, so that kind of skews the math a little bit. And also, lockdown is like more spread, so there's an easier chance of like your opponent just scoring his back points, unless you just want to like traverse the map and like start contesting his shit. And then like meteors is a pay to flip, so the pay to flips are always on, they're always scoring. Once they get flipped once, they're just like scoring.
Yep.
Like no matter what. Like
yep.
Even if you flip it back, like that's still points. People are still scoring. With intrusions, it's like I'll walk up with a guy. Well, it gets weird too because it's a super cagey match where you're not trying to offer your characters to be shot on intrusions against another attrition list like early in the game just to try to score some points, because you're probably going to get shot off the point anyway and not score it, and now you're like down health. So like typically you're going to play it super cagey. You're not going to be like moving guys out to the middle, and when you do, you're probably doing it just to contest and like have a one character contest against their one character contest. It's not uncommon to like for both players to only score one intrusion like the first round, like total, and then the other two are like contested. And then you've got like your extracts, which are like one player might pick up one and the other would pick up two. I guess I forgot Montesi too. Montesi's another one that would only be three. But like we're talking about like maybe scoring two around for players. So like if we're just assuming that both players score two around, round 6 we're at 12. Obviously things can happen and some things can get mixed up and one player might go up some points, but like contesting on intrusions is very easy. You can hop through the portal as well, so like you can just literally like flit across the map and be like, okay, I'm on this point now, you don't score it. You can really drag the game down to like a crawl, and 6 VPs at the end of that is going to be monumental. So I do think that there could be some play. The other thing I would just say about it being a tactics card is that like it only replaces your 5th best tactics card. It's not like you have to kick out a restricted or something for it. Like you just take the 5th worst card or the 5th best card you have, or I guess the worst card, the worst of your 5, and like it becomes this for a chance to just like win the game at the end. I think that's a gamble I'm probably willing to take on a very specific crisis combination. The only problem, and we kind of talked about it, well, you guys talked about it a little bit, is like it costs 11 power. So like it's at round 6, which is like usually there's dead people, and obviously dead people don't have power and can't play text cards, and you essentially need at least 2 characters awake to do it. So that would be a challenge in some cases, but I think that's probably the worst part about the card is the high power requirement. I don't think it's the round 6 thing. It's because the round 6 thing, like you're just never going to play this card unless you're in a very specific crisis setup. Like if you play the card and you're not in the specific crisis setup, you're just like wasting the card. But I do think there's a very good shot to actually have the window to play this. The issue is going to be like having the power to play the card during the window. But I still think it's worth the gamble. I would still play it, at least right now. Like I haven't played it like Sentinels in a long time, and I haven't played this card, but yeah, 6 VPs is like that's no joke. That'll just win a game in that specific crisis setup for sure.
Well, and I also do kind of like that you can kind of get in your opponent's head a little bit, because it kind of is like, if this thing goes to round 6, there's a strong chance that they're going to lose. So they're probably going to be trying to do everything they can to not let it get to 6, which could, it could force them to overcommit to scoring something, or, try a little bit too hard on scenario.
Normally, I would argue that. I would argue that because like a good player is going to just play the game correctly and like not get distracted or insulted. But I would probably have to be in agreement with you here, David, because I just don't think that the crisis scenario where you would play this doesn't come up a ton, and it doesn't come up a ton against Sentinels, and then it doesn't come up against a ton against Sentinels who actually play this card. So like the amount of times that they actually would have experience into this card would be pretty low.
Yeah,
if they have any at all, and where it's actually a threat.
Are you sure it doesn't come up against Sentinels? Because it seems like, particularly if you're taking kind of the older school Sentinels, they're wanting to play a slow it down, murder you game. So that would seem like it would fit into what this card wants to do.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I let me clarify. the fact that not many people play Sentinels
Oh,
is like, I mean, it's a rare. It would be a rare thing for someone to get reps into like intrusions / ships versus Sentinels
Right.
playing this card in their 5.
the other thing is that you can quote unquote play that scenario right and with this card still lose. I mean, you can play like taking that out of the equation. You can play the card right, and you're gonna you bring it home, and at the end of round 6, it's like, okay, I played the game right and I won 13-9. Oh wait. So I think I agree with David that there's an element at which this is going to force people. You have this card on the crisis combination that's going to be slow enough where the game's going to last that long. I do think you put a time clock pressure on an opponent to play the game differently than they would play otherwise.
Well, and like they're gonna be really sweating when it gets to be like round 5, and you're like, I've only scored 10 VPs.
Yep.
This is not great.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And then you're pressuring opponents to maybe take risks that they wouldn't take otherwise, or just playing the game differently than they would, which is if you're putting an opponent out of their normal game plan, you're sort of by definition have an advantage.
And
Well-
let me be clear on what I say, like what a good crisis scenario is. I mean specifically intrusions. I don't. I wouldn't play it on anything else, and it would have to be intrusions and like one of the 3 extracts specifically. Like I think anything else just scores too fast for this. And we're talking like by inches. Like you just. Once you add a 4th extract to the game, it changes the math.
Does lockdown score fast enough to make this
I don't think you play it on lockdown. No. Just because like it's too easy for your opponent to score their back points.
I suppose, but it's also it's easier to contest them too, and to get it to a draw.
It is if you're like, I mean, you could certainly try, but the games I've played on lockdown have never gone to round 6.
Okay.
I'm just speaking from like from experience on these crises, like specifically in like a very slow like attrition versus attrition. I've never gone the full distance on lockdown. Okay. But like intrusions, it's very common for me to like end up in round 6 and like nobody has scored 16 yet.
Yeah. Okay. Alex, what any additional thoughts other than your very succinct summary?
I got nothing.
All right. Anything else about any of the new Sentinels tactics card we didn't cover before we kind of get into what a Sentinels roster looks like? David, anything else we want to go over?
I guess I would just say on that Master Mold card, like one thing is that you as a Sentinels player can basically, instead of playing the game to win, you can play the game to not lose and end up randomly winning.
Yep.
So there might be something in that.
Yeah, especially given how kind of obscenely tanky characters like Bastion and Nimrod can get.
Yeah, that might be a use case for taking the instant recovery.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Just to keep somebody alive so that they can spend power to complete the master mold.
Might also be a use case for the technological jumpstart where Nimrod's handing power out to everybody.
Maybe.
I'm not sure, but maybe. So Okay.
I mean, I guess you'd have to have at least 3 other Sentinels to net more power than you would spend.
Yeah. And at that point in time, you'd have to have 3 Sentinels upright at the end of round 6.
Yeah, so I guess another thing that we didn't cover with this card that is probably worth touching on is that the fact that you have to be affiliated to spend for the card. So in situations where I am planning on using this card, I'm probably going to go. I mean, if we're being honest, I'll probably never play Sentinels and play this card. But if I were to, I would probably try to go wide. And so with intrusions, it's like it plays at 19 a lot. Just how it works, especially when you're like pairing it with virus. It's just like auto 19.
Right.
So you can get like both Prime Sentinels, Bastion, and then you can get like either Nimrod or Prime, and then like your Prime Sentinel, or not your Prime Sentinel, your what's the other 4-threat one?
Omega.
There you go. And Omega, or you could take a drone. Maybe the drone's better actually. If you take Prime and drone with
Online and operational.
Patrick knew where I was going with it. Like that gives you more cushion for like not having KO'd guys, and like it gives you essentially more power because you're spending 4 to like basically get back your guy who just gained like 1 billion.
Yep.
Well,
so
and the other thing with the Mark IVs and the Primes is they all gain power at the end of their activation.
Yes, that's the other thing.
You're gonna have a little cushion there too.
Exactly. Yep. So and also like I think like Nimrod having his teleport is awesome, but if you're playing intrusions, being able to like hop your size 5 Sentinels through the intrusion portals without spending any actions is like pretty damn good.
Yep.
I think there's some diminishing returns on Nimrod's port, so I definitely think that that's probably a pretty good use case for taking the big boys on that. So you could go double Prime, and then big Prime, and then drone and Bastion, and be at 19. You're 5 wide. You're all affiliated, and that's just an annoying team. I think that's the way I would go with it if I was planning to. If it ended up on 19 and I was planning on running the card, because splashes are a big no if you're running this card.
Oh yeah. Okay. So let's do, now that we've kind of gone over the cards themselves, let's go ahead and let's do not necessarily a dojo per se. Although, that may be kind of where we end up. So if you're putting a Sentinels list together, I guess we'll start with the characters. Obviously, you've got 2 leaders in Sentinel Prime and Bastion, and I guess I'm presuming that we're starting with those 2. There's, you're obviously starting out. You're not going to bring anything that doesn't have those 2. Is that fair to say?
I honestly don't think you play without Bastion. I just think Bastion's such a good character, and his leadership's pretty good.
His leadership's bonkers.
I guess what I'm saying is would you ever put a Sentinels list where you wouldn't include Sentinel Prime?
No.
I mean, Sentinel Prime is such a good model. I don't think you don't take it.
Okay.
Like,
all right. So
he's too good to not take.
So if we're doing, I'm just pulling up. So if we're doing starting a Sentinels roster from scratch, first thing we're doing, Bastion's probably the first thing you're putting in, and then we're putting in Sentinel Prime. So we'll just kind of walk through the rest of them. Nimrod's an auto take, I assume.
Yeah, I think Nimrod's probably good enough to be an auto take.
And
Yeah, I agree.
Omega, I'm assuming, is an auto take.
Yeah, Omega's really, really good.
I really like Omega. I think she's very good.
Yeah.
She's kind of a menace.
Yeah, she's
real good.
So now we've got 4 affiliated. Now the question is, we've got the 2 Mark IV drones, and we've got the 2 mini primes. So, do you take 1 of each? Do you take 2 of each? What are your thoughts in terms of putting that roster together with the duplicates?
I think if you're gonna take one of the Prime Sentinels, I think you take both of them, because I just
Okay.
don't. I think you use that as a way to like make yourself able to go a little wider.
Okay.
I think you probably only take 1 drone though.
Okay.
I don't think there's a case to bring both, because like, I mean, basically, if you want another 4, you're just gonna run Omega Sentinel, because Omega Sentinel's really good. So like, I just don't see a world where you're taking 2 drones. It
Okay.
doesn't make a whole lot of sense. At least to me, it doesn't.
So you think?
I agree with it.
All right. So we're putting both mini primes in, but we're just putting 1 drone in. Alex?
Yeah, the mini prime. Well, the mini prime was necessary in, well, not that it's a big deal, but in the niche case where you're playing that certain crisis setup at 19, you kind of need both mini primes.
Hmm.
Also, as we get into building the list, like trying to use this Bastion leadership, I think like min-maxing affiliated models is going to be good. I don't think you want to run the Prime Sentinels, but like you might have a situation where you need a 10 core to like get the splashes you want. So the problem is we're at 7. We're at 7 affiliated, so
Yep,
we only get 3
we're-
splashes, but I think that's fine.
Well, and then Alex, are you on board with doing both mini primes and 1 drone?
Yeah, that was my thought process originally.
Okay.
Like, I don't think there's a need for 2 drones anymore.
Okay. So we've got Bastion, Nimrod, Omega, Big Prime, 2 little primes, and 1 drone. So we're at 7. And now we have the question is, does Cassandra Nova make the list?
No, keep that bitch on the shelf.
No. That I think you had the joke of the episode, Patrick.
Yeah, I think you got a Parker. I agree. So we've got 7 models. So now we've got room for 3 splashes. What are our thoughts in terms of characters to splash? I know who I've got splashed in the roster, but I want to hear what you guys think in terms of who comes along with this new group of Sentinels.
So I think we got to talk about the Bastion leadership a little bit.
Okay.
Because I think the list is probably going to be. I think there's one of 2 ways you can take the list. Well, not even. I should say one of 2 ways you can field a squad from the list. One is like going like big stompy guys at like probably 4 tall, and then the other way is like really leaning into the Bastion leadership and going like 5, maybe 6 wide, but probably 5.
Okay.
And like you get an extra body there, which is good, but like the big advantage is like you shave the threat value of all your models across the board down. So that Bastion leadership, if you're attacking a character with a higher threat value than yourself, you deny them 2 power instead of 1, which is like literally double the effect. It's like double good. So like it gets kind of stupid when your guys are just taking damage and not gaining any power.
Yeah.
And then if we have splashes on top of that also have power denial, it's gonna get real goofy.
Yeah, when you got 3 threats that are spitting out attacks, and about half of the characters they're going into are getting 2 less power than they otherwise would for those attacks, then all of a sudden that starts to feel real bad.
Yeah, and I think that's
I'm-
like another use case for the Prime Sentinels, right? Because they're only
Mhm.
3 threat, and like
Right.
we're like like this meta, it's like the 4 threats are just in vogue.
Right.
So being able to deny 2 off 4 threats is huge.
Yep.
Well, and like there's a case you could make for like grunts, right? Because grunts are always gonna be 0 threat.
Yeah.
So like people are always losing 2 power from grunts, and like if anybody's played against my shield grunts, they know those shield grunts are stupid.
Yeah.
So
Can
Yep.
confirm.
Losing 2 power like from them is dumb. It's really dumb.
That's also 2 shots, ladies and gentlemen.
Shots.
I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised the shield grunts didn't come out in Convocation.
I also would want to shout out Nebula. I think Nebula would be fantastic in this kind of scenario because
Just because of how she
She-
plays with Bastion's leadership.
yeah, because she's a 2 threat and it's like
Yep.
she's denying power now and she's like murdering people. Like I really like the idea of Nebula.
Okay. All right. So we got Nebula that's on the list. Who else are we looking at in terms of potential splashes?
It'd be like
I think you could splash Rocket for that same kind
Yep.
of case, right?
Same concept.
2 threat.
so you could go low, or you could go. So yeah, I mean, having 10 slots is kind of rough. You could go the 2 threat route, or you could go like the more premium characters who deny power. Like you go Quasar, Rogue, Loki, and then you could even go like Deadpool as a 3 for his mark with the mouth.
Yep.
I don't know if that's really necessary to go Deadpool though. If you've got like Prime Sentinels at 3.
I really do like the Rogue thing though. And Rogue is she saps and she has her mutant absorption, which like if they have no power, that's like even worse for them. Because now they're just
Yeah.
taking straight damage that they
Yeah.
also don't gain power from.
Yeah, I mean, and she does have like the biggest dice pool. I think there's only 2 characters who have that, right? It's Rogue and Quasar.
That have
have
the
Roll
mutant
dice.
absorption?
Yeah.
I think it is only them.
And Rogue's is like 25% better than Quasar's.
Yeah.
And I don't think we want to take 3 4s. Like I think Quasar, Rogue, and Loki are all good. It's just a matter of like which ones are the better. I could see taking 2 of them maybe, because you could work that into like work that into like a 5-man team with like Bastion, 2 Prime Sentinels, and then 2 4 threats at 18. Or you could like start swapping out Prime Sentinels to get your threat level up and still keep your splashes. The only time it doesn't work is like at 16, 17, but how often are you playing those? If you're playing a murder list doesn't take a lot of 17 scenarios, so
I also do like the characters that have root. So obviously, because the synergy with the primes and
Yep.
just like the more root you have, the more power denial you're causing. So obviously, like Pyro, Groot, I think those guys are good. You probably want to avoid the higher threat characters with root. So like you're probably not taking like a Dracula or I don't think you mess with Sinister, or I'm trying to think who else has root, like Professor Xavier. Probably not taking him.
Cassandra Nova.
Yeah, Cassandra Nova.
doesn't Shadow King give root?
Shadow King does get
Yeah,
root
I
too,
think
doesn't
he does.
Yeah, he roots on his crazy fucking builder.
Yeah,
His
I think
builder's
that's
really
right.
good, but
His builder is really good, but like the rest
the
of it just
buck
sucks.
stops there.
It's just
Yeah.
it's just attached to Shadow King.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
So are we settled that we're taking at least 1 2 threat?
yeah, I mean, I think you do want to take 1 2 threat just because of the synergy of a 2 threat with Bastion's leadership.
Okay.
Well, the question is, can you go six wide with the 2 threat? The answer is you can at
19?
19 if you have a 3 splash also. Right? Because Bastion 2 prime Sentinels is 10. Then you need another affiliated, so it's one of the 4, so you're at 14. And then you have the 2 threat, so you're at 16, and then you go to 19 with a 3 threat splash, or 20 with a 4 threat splash. So it's possible, but you would also need to include a 3 threat splash for that to even really be a thing.
Okay. Well, we've got three splash spaces. So let's lock one down for a 2 threat. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll put Nebula down, and knowing that you could be Rocket, you want some form of a damage. So we've got our base 7. We've got Nebula. And then, do we want to be looking at one of the like a Rogue or a Loki or something like that?
I mean, I really personally I'm in favor of Rogue. I really like Rogue. I think she the fact that if she punches somebody that is higher threat than her, she's sapping them and denying them power, and then mutant absorptioning on top of that.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Rogue. I think she's really good, and she's particularly good in this because, denying 1 power is different than denying 2. I guess if she's going into a bigger guy, the problem is she's a 4 threat,
right?
So it's not as good, but. Her kit was always it lacks synergy a little bit because you charge into a target, punch them, and then give them power, and then your mutant absorption isn't doing damage now; it's just taking the power away.
Mm-hmm.
The real money shot with mutant absorption is just to get free damage with it. Obviously you can use it in really tricky, fun ways to deny power on a key character so that they can't do a thing that they really needed to do on their activation. But normally, just meat and potatoes, that superpower just wants to do damage. So stacking it with the leadership is pretty good.
All right,
the fact that she can throw size 4s around, she is good into bigger targets too. So I do like Rogue.
So we've got Nebula, we've got Rogue, we've got 1 space left.
I mean, I like Loki still, but I could see the space going to could go to Deadpool, it could go to another 2 threat, it could go to a grunt character. It's probably one of those though.
You could make the case for Pyro or potentially Rescue. The one thing I like about Rescue is that she's only usually doing 1 damage, so now they're just not gaining power for that, which is
true.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Rescue was going to be who I was gonna suggest. She was just in kind of the before times when it was just the primes, before the new wave came out. Rescue was almost a staple into Sentinels, and having her be able to take conditions off of characters, be able to keep characters upright. I mean, now as tanky as Bastion can be, especially with his tactics card, then if you've got Rescue flying around and she can take damage off of people, it makes them impossible to kill, and that actually might make the Mother Mold card more playable too, because if you're able to keep more of your models upright until round 6, then you're more likely to be able to play that card too. And Rescue's kind of been an unofficial Sentinel since she came out, for me anyway.
Well, and the other thing with Rescue too is that she tends to be better the grindier the game is.
Right.
So if she's healing even say she heals 7 or 8 health over the course of a game, that's the whole front side of Bastion, right? So
yep.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Do you want to just go ahead and take the opportunity now to sing the praises of her card?
Yeah. I mean,
that card.
her stupid her stupid rapid fire. What is it?
The best defense.
Best defense. Yeah, the best defense. That card is nuts. It's 2 power. It's range 5. It auto rapid fires and it auto pushes any size. Like it's pretty nuts. I like the fact that you can use it to like create space when you need to, and it gives Rescue a potential damage output that she might not have had because like her gainer only can do 1 damage. So
Yep.
she's kind of stuck there. I mean, unless she beams, but the beam is kind of expensive, and I think I've only used it maybe once.
I don't think I've ever used it. She's just if you're using your power off a rescue for her beam, then you're doing something wrong.
I think there's niche cases for it, but I personally have not used it either.
I have used it. I will say the fact that it is beam 4 is
it's hella
pretty good.
legit. For sure.
It's just hard to find the window because most of the time when I play rescue, I'm looking for windows to medevac people.
Exactly.
And so, like the beam usually never comes up. But if by happenstance, my opponent decides to line up 3 models,
that's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the beam. Like,
I think you might be able to make an argument to drop a prime sentinel for rescue.
You might be able to. So that might be a terrible.
So just take one of the 2 mini primes?
I think so. Because so if you need a 10 core for when would you need a 10 core? If you're going at a certain point level, but then if you don't have the other prime, then you just upgrade to Omega, you're at 11 now, and then you just downgrade one of your splashes to something that's a threat lower. I think it's fine, and you get the advantage of having your Omega now. I don't think it's a terrible trade.
So if we took one of the primes out, and that leaves us another slot, so then is that where you put in a pyro, or do you put in the 3 threat synergy, like a pyro or a Deadpool, or do you look for another 4, maybe Loki?
I mean, there's also Nick Fury and Red Skull 2.
Yeah.
Which I do like that. I do like the grunts. Just going into people. So I'm not gaining power for it. It's good.
The question is one of those better than the other one in this list?
Well,
yeah, that would be the question.
I
do like the fact that Fury gives you extract play on an extract you might not have. There's going to be times where you're going to be playing something insane like Senators.
Yeah.
And it's what do you do on Senators? Maybe that's the answer. You bring Fury.
And Fury's a 4 threat where Hydra Skull's 5. So maybe if you're, do you want to be bringing another 5 threat in your list?
Yeah, unless you're trying to go but even then, you're not really built to go super tall because you don't have somebody that's a 7 threat or a 6, right?
Right. I wonder if adding another 5. I mean, we already kind of kicked Cassandra Nova to the curve because she didn't really fit as a 5 threat.
Oh, it was more of she's an affiliated 5 threat, the 3rd affiliated 5 threat. I think Splash 5 threats might be a different conversation, but
well, and she's a bad 5 threat.
Well, that
she
too.
is a bad 5 threat.
Because I think Red Skull's the only way you can go 4 wide at 19. That might be worth something, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess do we want to play the list? Do we want to just really be faithful to the Bastion power denial thing and not try to go tall? Are we aiming to go 5 wide all the time?
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. How do we want to build the list though?
I
I
guess
just-
it would depend on what. I guess the bigger question is like, what crisis is this playing?
So maybe let's park that 10th. Let's park that 10th model. Let's go. Do you want to do crisis before we go to tactics card? Then, because I think that crisis, crisis we're playing might end up affecting the kind of the last model choices that we have for the roster.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
mean, the tactics cards should be pretty easy, right?
I think the tactics
not-
cards are pretty they kind of choose themselves. But so let's go into what we're doing from a tactics card standpoint. So what are we thinking? Is this kind of Bastion Sentinels list kind of look like what the previous Sentinels list, and we're running a lot of attrition focused, slow the game down kind of cards.
Yeah, I would think so.
mean, Yeah, I
Like this list isn't particularly good at any scenario play.
Right.
yeah.
Other than
it's def-
other than Omega is kind of stupid good at pay to flips.
Yeah, I mean, she is good at pay to flips for sure. There's no argument there.
And I don't know if that's something you lean into, or that you just kind of have Omega in the list so that when they come up, that's your play on them.
I just think you have Omega on the list because she's good.
Well, that too.
I don't think you necessarily lean into it with your scenario. I think it's just like a happy, like a serendipitous thing when the two things meet, right? Like,
right.
I think McCran is a good consideration, and Meteors, right?
Meteors, yeah. I was just gonna say I think Meteors is.
So we're going. Come on, we're going Meteors, Emkron. So I'm assuming then we're playing Intrusions.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, Intrusions. I wonder how much. So we're leaning into the power denial thing. Like, so is that a case to try to bring more pay to flips? Just because now you're taxing their power with the pay to flip in addition to whatever they're doing?
I think it is, because I mean you have such an amazing. I mean, Omega's legitimately so good at pay to flips that I think, and you're probably and it's not like she's a tax to bring. I mean, you want to bring her anyway just because she's good, and then when you stack on top of that you've got someone that's really good at those. I think making an affirmative decision to have some other pay to flips that otherwise makes sense is I think that makes some sense.
I mean, we already have half of them, and the other half includes Madman. And this,
that's true.
This list is kind of trash at rotating. So
yeah, I don't think you take Madman.
Yeah, you don't want Madman. I agree.
The only one worth considering is Guardians, and even I don't know.
I think you could consider that one.
You could, but Guardians also. What does it do? Does it give? What does the Guardians effect do? I can't remember. Does it give
gives
power?
you a reroll. It gives you a reroll.
Okay, right.
Yep, you get a reroll. Yeah.
I mean, we could.
And that one is very. It's much closer than a B. So
yeah, it's closer. I don't know.
So
it's definitely more rotatable, but it's not a McCran.
No, it's definitely not.
Do you take that over something like? Do you take Lockdown?
Well, the issue with, I guess, Bastion's range 4. The old Sentinel list had longer range, right? Because you'd play Prime, you'd play a drone.
Well,
you might play like Taskmaster or something. You'd have a lot of range 4 stuff.
Not really. I mean, the drones are all 3.
But they have the restraint cable. You just pull them in, punch them.
Right.
So this one, like, you're not like Bastion's range is good, but like Nimrod, I guess Nimrod can like hop and shoot, so it's not a big deal. But he can't like stick on the point. Like maybe maybe lockdown's fine. I mean, I do like lockdown and attrition lists. It's just like, do you have the range for it? You probably do.
So we go meteors, Mcron, intrusions, lockdown, guardians.
Yeah, I think that is probably where you go because, I mean, you're gonna avoid B or you're gonna avoid D's. You're not gonna take madmen. You're not gonna take senators, I mean scoundrels, obviously. I don't think you run Fisk or Wedding Party. Well, you could run Wedding
Deadline?
Party.
What about Deadline?
Oh yeah, you definitely take.
I think Deadline is. I think you take Deadline, right?
Yeah, Deadline seems fine.
So do you take that over lockdown or guardian? Because it seems like meteors, Mcron, and intrusions are those are sharp. Those you put down in Sharpie.
I mean, you could make a case. I don't know how you would play Wedding Party though, but I mean, I do like the fact that it makes you lose a power as well. So we're like, but I mean, maybe that's just too much.
Yeah, it's kind of it's probably more cute than good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because that means that your opponents are scoring them. You don't really want them to score them.
Well, and they're so spread. They're so spread apart too. That's the other issue.
All right, so 3 to take 2. We've got lockdown. We've got guardians. We've got deadline. Alex, if we're picking 2 of those 3, which would you take?
I like Deadline personally.
Okay.
It gives the opportunity, like, God knows everybody's had those situations. You left your target alive on 1, and they have an extract. Okay, I'll spend a power to interact with the deadline. You can either drop the point or get dazed and drop the point. Your choice.
Okay, so we've got deadline, and then it's either lockdown or guardians.
I think it's guardians.
I would. Oh, I was gonna say I pick lockdown because I haven't played it much, and I think it's fun.
Okay, JP, lockdown or guardians?
I don't know, Patrick. It's your list. You make the executive decision. We know you're going to be bringing it tomorrow or on Friday.
I think having Omega with beta flips is kind of a sneaky advantage. So I think we play guardians. All right. So now we're going to our extracts, and again, we're going the obvious attrition ones.
Yeah, virus. So virus.
Montesi,
alien ships.
So we got virus. We got not find. So alien ships is, I think, actually probably easier to take now when you've got Bastion and Nimrod that can both heal the damage that they're getting back.
Yeah, I mean,
that's assuming you're actually taking damage, because like it's gonna be awkward because your opponent is losing out on power, so they may not be taking damage from the alien ships, which is whatever.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. That's kind of bad synergy, but I don't think it's. I think ships is still.
It's not. Yeah, I think you do ships.
Still worth taking.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
So that leaves us 2.
It's probably scrolls.
You got hammers and weapons, scrolls, and then what's the one where you have to be within range 2 of
wedding guests?
Yeah, wedding guests. I guess that's one you can do too.
Yeah, because I mean, now if you've got Bastion that can move other people and kind of fix the push, and you've got Nimrod that can fix the push himself, and you've got Omega that's got a charge and a long move, I think that makes red winning a lot less burdensome to take than it used to be when you just had the slow stompy robots.
I don't know. I say wild card bitches and take senators.
I was gonna say maybe you make a case for playing fucking Jailbreak.
Okay.
But I don't know how you do that.
You guys know how I feel about Jailbreak. I'm not ever putting that in any of my lists, no matter what the list is.
I think you gotta have
I think you gotta have a whole bunch of long range characters. Although, I suppose you could park Bastion on one of them, and then you've got Omega that could go run the others.
I feel like so with Jailbreak, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you're playing on Jailbreak and a pay to flip? Now your opponent's got to spend double their amount of power
Yeah.
for these things, and they may just not have any power to like pick these things up or to interact. Like, I mean, if we're denying them power, like, why not take the extract that makes you spend the most power to use it?
Okay. So,
And I like that you got big stompy boys that can automatically interact with these things on round one, right?
right. Right. If you're taking either Nimrod, the drone, the Mark IV, or the Sentinel Prime. Okay. So let's say we go Jailbreak, and
I think it's got to be scrolls.
it's probably got to be
like-
Scrolls. It's probably got to be Scrolls.
I mean, you're obviously going to avoid samples. You're going to avoid, like, you're not going to play canisters. You're not going to play. It's really, are you going to play scrolls or wedding guests or
Mhm.
hammers, basically, or inhuman weapon? It's like one of those.
So if we take Jailbreak and Scrolls, we've got two 20 thread extracts. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that just kind of puts us in a weird spot.
I mean, the question would be is like, what does your 20 look like?
Right.
Well, you're 5 wide at that point, or 6, I guess.
Yeah, you could be 6 wide. I mean, there you could be putting out. I mean, you could put Bastion, Nimrod, Sentinel Prime, Rescue, and a Mini Prime, or you could do Sentinel Prime, Nimrod, Bastion, Rogue, Nebula.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of ways to cut it.
Yeah, I think you're probably pretty good at 20. I think you're probably pretty good at 20.
I don't think having 220s is an issue. It's whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
it kind of is.
Do we like scrolls more than hammers and inhuman weapons?
Well, and especially since you've got a whole bunch of big base characters who can pick up the hammer without having, you put it right in front of the hammer, they can pick it up and go either direction. Do we want to lean in? Would we want to lean into that and have hammers on the list?
I don't think it's worth it to have a guy be able to like auto pick one. I think it's like, does hammers help? I mean, hammers taxes cards, right?
Yes.
Well, my other argument is that who's picking up something mid in this roster?
I don't hate a drone.
Yeah, I was like, it's probably a
It's-
drone. Maybe it's.
I don't hate rogue. I actually don't
Yeah,
hate Bastion.
I don't.
Um,
I mean, you're not. I mean, it's gonna have to be the first activation. It's.
well, the other thing is you have an out with Bastion, right? You can
because
pick,
pull them
mid
back.
pick and then pull them back. So it's probably fine.
I mean, you might even do. You might even do Omega because she can shift her defense tech around.
well, she's not gonna have any power when she gets attacked.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know if you do it well, and the fact that she's what? She's what, a long mover? What's her builder? Is it range 3?
Yeah.
So like long move plus range 3, you kind of want her to be able to attack something on round 1.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I mean, you also have rescue too to be able to heal, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
You make the executive decision, Patrick. What do you want for your fifth?
let's go with this. If we're leaning into Bastion's leadership, then let's lean into it and let's see if Jailbreak can push it, and then have Jailbreak push it with maybe one of the secures pushing it too, and we'll see how that plays. So for purposes of the experiment, let's go Montesi, Alien Ship, Virus, Jailbreak, Scrolls. All right.
I like that.
And then our tactics cards. Let's go with the. I think you're taking online and operational. I'm just going to the Sentinels cards because if
You're going to take Directive 1.
you're going to take Directive 1, and I think that's probably the only actually Sentinels affiliated cards. Well, I suppose.
I mean, you're going to take the mold
You
card,
put the
right?
mother
'Cause we're
mold
planning
in.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
put the
take-
mother
yeah,
mold in,
mother mold.
and you look for the opportunity cost. So then it's you take greater than the sum, which is the one that gives Bastion his healing power.
Well, I would caveat that with how often are you going to play Bastion and Nimrod together? Because that would be the determining factor on how often you actually use that card.
Right. I think you take it in the 10 right now, and then you kind of see how often those two come out.
Let's
But you're
put
right.
it down. Let's put it down and see if we have anything that bumps it out.
Yep. Do you take the? I don't think you take the technological jumpstart, the one that hands power
No.
out.
No, I don't think you take that.
Do you take a perfect future, the one that Nimrod moves long?
I don't like
think
it.
I would say we hold and see if we don't fill up to 10. If we don't fill up
Okay.
to 10, then maybe we come back and say, okay.
Okay. So, all right. So we were at 4. We're gonna presume that we'll have our 2. Let's see. If
Get
we're
patch up sacrifice probably.
that's
Yeah,
what
it's
I-
either
That's how-
patch up sacrifice or patch up indom.
yeah, and
I think I like sack better.
I do too.
Sack
do
is
too.
good.
That's kind of been those have been my 2 go-to cards. Sorry, Alex.
And then you got recal.
I'll forgive you because you are putting in sacrifice.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, then you put in
Friendship.
recalibration matrix. All right, so that gives us 7.
Do we want rescues card?
Yeah. If we're taking rescue, I think you take the best defense.
Yeah,
So that gets us 2 more.
Are there any character specific cards that we're missing here?
Oh, we need extinction event. We need Omega Sentinels card.
Oh yeah, the Omega attack card.
Yeah. I think you definitely bring that.
Yeah, I think that
think-
card's worth definitely at least exploring to see if it's good or not.
I also think if you're considering greater than the sum, you consider instant recovery probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
don't
you're
like
right.
Especially because you've already got Nimrod, who's also
Yep.
in order to play the card, you have to bring Nimrod, and he also has healing factor. So it's
Yep.
kind of
Yeah.
like
Well, that
probably consider that card.
puts us at 10. That's-
10. Are there any other cards that would be worth considering even at this point? The attack, the clapback. But we're down to 1 prime sentinel now. So.
Yeah, I just don't.
I don't think
that-
you bother with
I
that.
don't.
With the clapback. I think that card is just.
I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze on that one,
Mm-mm.
especially if you're not taking both mini primes.
I just feel like that
Yeah.
card has your opponent just has too much agency on
Mhm.
that card. The windows are just.
Okay.
I have a feeling that just it's either you're gonna use it and you're gonna make like 1 attack.
Yep.
And maybe it does something. Otherwise, you probably just.
Okay, so we've got our crises, we've got our tactics. We still have one since we took the second mini prime out. We've got 1 slot open for a character.
I'm trying to think of somebody like Indy hadn't really thought about.
So, I mean, I think we were kind of looking at maybe Nick Fury for his grunts.
I do like
Red Skull 2.
grunts.
Red Skull 2 for his grunts.
Deadpool, Loki, possibly Quasar.
I
Mm.
I
If we take Loki, though, we might kick out a tactics card for a Loki card, maybe.
Yeah, I do
Maybe.
really like
Giant's Blood.
Giant's Blood
Giant.
because of the
I-
root and the slow.
I kind of like putting Deadpool in as put him in as another 3. That makes a third character that you can use instant recovery with. Although I'm not sure how good that is on Deadpool.
I will say, Deadpool with Bastion leadership is fucking annoying.
Yeah, it is.
Range
because
for possible
does
rapid
work
fire
on-
attacks.
I was like, it does work on both of his rapid fires. So
Like you're just gonna be like plink, 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 plink. You gain no power.
I think it's
yeah.
I think it's Deadpool. I think Deadpool's the 10th character because then, it's kind of a neat. You've got makes less building a little bit easier. I think Deadpool is the 10th.
I do think he offers. There's no other 3 threat in the list besides a drone,
Mm-hmm.
or not a drone, but a prime sentinel. So
Well, and
like,
rescue.
there's oh yeah, rescue. You're right. But yeah, I mean, having only 2 3 threats is kind of weird.
Okay, so let's go over the roster to see how I feel about it. So it's Bastion, Nimrod, Omega, Sentinel Prime, Mini Prime, Sentinel Mark IV drone, Nebula, Rogue, Rescue, and Deadpool. Our team tactics cards are online and operational, Directive 1, Building the Mother Mold, Greater Than the Sum, Patch Up, Sacrifice, Recalibration Matrix, The Best Defense, Extinction Event, and Instant Recovery. And then our crisis are Deadly Meteors, Mcron, Intrusions, Guardians, Deadline. And then it is Montesi, Alien Ship, Deadly Legacy Virus, Jailbreak, and Skrulls. Alex, how's that roster sound?
I really like it personally. I like the flexibility in the crises. The characters are all super solid, and I like the tactics cards too. I would have fun playing against it, and if I was the Sentinels player, if I was Patrick, I'd have a blast with it.
All right. JP, how's it feel?
Well, another thing I thought of is Deadpool also has healing factors, so instant recovery is kind of cool there too.
Yep.
The only other thing I like the list. The only thing I would think maybe is possibly considering Warpath. It's just a good general card, and it's good for like your big boys, who might get moved that don't have action economy, but
yeah, especially if you're taking like the Sentinel Prime or the drone.
Yeah. So that would be worth considering. I don't know what you could boot out.
Well, Building the Mother Mold sort of feels like an experimental card. I could see a
It
world where
does.
that gets kicked to the curb.
Yeah. I mean, the use case is pretty narrow, but
Right.
I feel like most games are just going to be like, I'm going to start with Passive Sacrifice, probably Recal, and then like fill in 2.
Yep.
And yeah, it's going to be, let's see, what could you do? I guess you could take, like, online operational is very specific. The best defense is very specific. Directive 1's kind of specific in a way. Like sometimes that just doesn't do a whole lot if you're not going to the right team.
It just depends on what team you're going into.
Yeah. So it's not like you can just slap that thing into any 5.
Yeah.
Omega's attack, you obviously have to take her.
Yeah.
Instant recovery is probably the most general because you're probably always running Bastion. Or no, sorry, you need the Greater Than the Sum.
I was about to say instant recovery.
Yeah.
You're probably only taking Greater Than the Sum and instant recovery.
Right,
you're not
right.
taking one without the other.
Yeah, so like those are not. I'm just looking at it and like I'm thinking there's a lot of niche cards here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you even fill out 5 with certain setups? Like you're taking Patch Up, Sac, Recal, and then what is it? I don't know. They're all kind of situational.
Yeah.
Maybe Warpath. Maybe Warpath is worth considering for when you don't have like a 5th card that you can even take, because that will happen.
I think it'd be pretty.
I mean, because Directive 1, you can direct. The only ones that are really like super niche. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Yeah, Directive 1, there's some value to it just about always. I mean, if you're, just about everybody's got some level of, somebody's got stealth or somebody's got a defensive reroll or something. So Directive 1's pretty broadly useful.
And it ignores line of sight too. That card's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll give it to you. We'll say Directive 1 is just like an always take card, or it can be an always take card. What's your fifth always take card?
I mean, in your worst case scenario, if nothing else fits, you bring instant recovery for
Deadpool.
For Deadpool or Nimrod.
I mean,
if you're taking Nimrod, you can take greater than the sum and instant recovery, right?
Right.
Unless you're going Sentinel Prime leadership with Nimrod and kicking Bastion out.
Although there's almost, there's almost.
I don't think you ever do that. I don't think you ever do that.
The other thing is there's so many times where, rescue's coming along almost every time. So you're probably bringing.
Oh yeah. I forgot Rescue's card too. Which one's that one?
Best defense.
Okay, I was thinking Best Defense was a different card. Yeah.
So I think
you could probably make it work. I don't know. Well, we'll test it out. We'll see if you run into issues with it.
It's a work in progress. David, how's the list feel to you?
I really like it. I keep thinking how good fucking pre-nerfed Bucky would be in here.
Oh,
like with all of his rapid fires, he feels so fucking annoying.
He would be. Oh my god!
But unfortunately, that is not the MCP world we live in.
He would be a problem. Oh, I was just thinking, I want a universe in which the Punisher is a character that I would want to bring, and he's got the auto rapid fire, but it's only range 3.
And he doesn't have he doesn't have a mouth.
No, he doesn't. I'm not saying that he's the right choice. I'm just saying I want him to be the choice. Alrighty. Well, Webheads, what do you think of this list? We'll post it online so you can take a look at it. Is this the Sentinels list you want to play? Is there something you should change? Is there something we should add in? I'm guessing that at least some of you are going to think we're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for not putting Cassandra Nova into the list. So tell us why we're wrong. Tell us why she needs to be in there and how it should be modified. Thanks for listening.
Bitch. She can sit in the corner and flicker bean.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be real hard to convince us that we're wrong because Cassandra sucks.
I agree with that. Although, in fairness, we did see what happened to Johnny when he said things like that.
Guys, we do have instant recovery in the list. Just saying.
That's true. Which we could use for Cassandra Nova.
I think I'd rather instant recovery as a character than Cassandra Nova.
So let us know what you think, Webheads. Please don't forget to rate and review us. And please, if you would like to support us, go to patreon.com/wittybantercast and support us as well. Thanks for giving us your ears. And until next time, be good.